Go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
I know that's how a lot of you are feeling. Maybe a little harsher words than that. As you walked out of the pit or rolled over in your bed last night and flipped off the TV or went to the bedroom and turned it off. Damn. I will tell you this. They play entertaining games. Nevada and New Mexico, they entertain you. They break your heart. 77-76 last night. Wolfpack beat the Lobos in the pit last night. A last second, and I mean last second, 10th of a second left by Keenan Blackshear. Hangs on the rim, bounces off the rim, and through. Ball game. Steve Alford's 8-0 against the Lobos. Lobos get swept by Nevada at a heartbreaker in the pit last night. Good morning to you. It is the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you feeling?
Whew, groggy.
Yeah.
Like, that was one that, if you're a Lobo fan, the pit's going up on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It's lit. The atmosphere, the energy's fantastic for what ended up being like an 8:46 tip-off.
Yeah. A little even later than that, it felt
Big
like.
East.
Yeah.
And you got an incredible basketball game, but it is an absolute buzzkill because good team lost to good team.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there at 6-5 now in Mountain West play with so many more questions about this Lobo basketball team. It is, even in a game that they lost on a
buzzer beater. But at home, there are moments that
really the last two games, you're seeing some warts with this Lobo basketball team.
So talk about it because there's a concern now, and the concern. Look, this is a really good team, and I'm not gonna sit here and bash on this team. They lost the last two games to good basketball teams, one on the road and this one at home. And Nevada's legit. Utah State's legit. New Mexico is legit. So I'm not going to spend this morning bashing on this basketball team. But to your point, there are some things, and Richard Pitino said after the game, they just made one more play than we did. Okay, and I think bare bones that's right. I think I don't know what you're going to tell me. I'm going to guess you're going to tell me a little bit about defense in the first half, and I think you're going to tell me a little bit about execution down the stretch.
That's exactly it. And we know this Lobo basketball team, their bread is buttered with offense.
Yeah.
Their efficiency, when they're scoring, putting pressure on teams, that's when they can create turnovers. And when the offense is working, they get a bit of a lead, they can play faster. You see Jalen House, see other players jump in the passing lanes, but they've struggled to find moments where they need to lock in. And that's back-to-back first halves where the opposing team has shredded you defensively. It's not just like, hey, this was a good game making tough shots. It's like, wait a second.
That's 45
Nevada's
points.
shooting like
Yeah.
60% from the field for the majority of the first half, and that's a problem when you can't find moments. And Nevada was fantastic last night, but that's two games in a row where you just look and go, man, that opponent was fantastic. And the Lobos now at 6-5 in Mountain West play, 3 games back. Like, I'm right there with you. This has still been an incredible season.
Yep.
They're still looking
And
at
still
it.
can be.
NCAA tournament berth.
Yep.
They have 2 marquee games left in the regular season, plus the opportunities in Las Vegas. But you're just seeing some things you have to acknowledge. This is not the team that you look and right now say they are better than everyone else and they are built for March, because they're not right now.
Can I first and foremost tip my hat to Gerard Lucas? I mean, That's have we seen a better performance against New Mexico this year?
Can't think of one off the top of my head coming in like that from start to finish. Tough shot maker, big time shots, answered everything the Lobos threw at him.
Transfer from Oregon State was 11 for 18 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3 points. If you were at the game and like which one was Lucas, number 2. Dude that was shooting and scoring from all over the floor. He played 36 minutes and scored 28 points, and was fantastic. So I want to tip my hat to him and Keenan Blackshear at the end of the game. So I was watching the game sitting with a former Lobo, right? And he says, "Where do you go? You go to Lucas?" I'm like, I think I do. What I thought they were going to do? I thought they were going to go to Lucas and use him as a decoy with the ball in his hands, and if they ran a second guy at him, find Baker down low and find something inside. Steven and Craig in Nevada's huddle. First of all, I didn't know if I think down by 1 they would run it down to the last shot, right? Tied, you run it down the last shot. But they obviously trusted what they drew up and the dude for whom they drew it up, and it was Keenan Blackshear. And Blackshear made a play. I don't think it was defended poorly. I don't think, when you look at the Lobos on that last possession, say, boy, they didn't defend it well. I thought they defended it well. They were up by 1, and a dude hits a shot that hangs on the rim and bounces around. I mean, you watch the clock, it bounced around for 2 seconds on the rim. So they made a play. So I think before we start getting into what happened in New Mexico and what do they have to do and what are the concerns, and because there are some, I got to sit here first off and tip my hat and say, man, Lucas was about as good as anybody I've seen against the Lobos this year, period. And that was just onions on a last shot. They put all their eggs in one basket, and Blackshear went down the lane and made a play.
Provided themselves in the second half. They were down 6 points early. It was 5-point lead. It felt like through the majority of the second half until the Lobos tied it at 70 and actually took the lead 70-67. Yeah. Had that little stretch in there. And, from Mashburn hitting a tough mid-range shot to Blackshear coming down the other end. The only thing is, do you try to switch it back and put Javonte Johnson back on Blackshear?
Yeah.
Because it was still a contested fadeaway shot from the elbow that Blackshear had to lift and rise over Mash.
Was he on Lucas on that possession?
Who?
Javonte.
No.
Who was on Lucas on that possession? On the last one?
It was Mashburn. And then
so who was on Blackshear?
Javonte Johnson. And then they ran the screen and Lobos just switched it.
Yeah. Look, you can. I mean, that's what they were trying to do. Their coaches are pretty good too. Mm-hmm. All right, there's a lot in this, and I know you're going to have some thoughts, and we will accept some phone calls today, 505-246-0610. Obviously going to talk NFL today. Super Bowl is days away. Aaron Rodgers made some news yesterday. Niners made a hire. There's Derek Carr conversation to have. Where's he going to go? So there's a lot. There's Pac-12 expansion conversation that will affect the Mountain West, and it feels like it's getting closer on that. And then, of course, LeBron last night, 38 points, and he became the all-time scoring leader in the National Basketball Association. So there's a ton on this. I know we're going to talk Lobo Hoops today, and there was a lot of good that came out last night. The bottom line is the bottom line, and that wasn't where you needed to be. And now there's concerns. You are not a guarantee into the NCAA tournament now. Do you think I'm stretching that?
No.
Yeah.
You could say that you're on the right side for now.
I think that's right.
Because you have two of the best true road wins in the country.
Yeah.
And your losses outside of Fresno State have been to top 100 teams.
Yeah. You're not eliminated. I'm not by no means telling you that.
But to me, it's just wild. When you look at the start, a team that was 19-0.
No, 14-0.
14-0. But I mean in non-conference play.
Yeah.
What was it? How many I'm just sort of how many?
Yeah,
wherever they were, they're undefeated in non-conference play.
Yeah.
You get into the Mountain West, and now you're looking at them in 6-5. It's an absolute credit to how good the Mountain West Conference has been. Thank you.
Yeah.
Has been, but it's still an absolute buzzkill for this basketball team that you're in 5th place in the Mountain West, and just 2 gut-wrenching losses to that guy on that team.
And you got and then there's that, and then there's that, and you got some work to do in front of you. I want to talk a little bit about who had the ball in their hands down the stretch and how you feel about that. I certainly have some thoughts on coming down the stretch on late game execution. in where it goes. But how you feeling this morning? I know that one hurt. I know it hurt because of what it meant. And as JJ said, it was that guy or those guys on the other bench. I was sitting, the guy behind me at the pit, he was talking to his buddy. He looks over, he's like, is that Noodles on the bench with Alford? And his buddy goes, yeah. I didn't know. Oh, that sucks. It's like, I kind of turned around and said, you didn't know that? He's like, no, man. Damn. Like literally, he just didn't know that Noodles was on the other side. And, yeah. He's like, that just sucks. All right. Amory's producing. Good morning to you. How was the pregame?
Good morning. It was awesome.
Better
Thank
than the game itself?
Better. God, just a punch in the gut. Yes, it was amazing as usual. And with the weather and everything, it was nice.
Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah, no, and the pit was packed last night, over 15,000. Just a good atmosphere last night. Now, I want to talk about the atmosphere too, because JJ, at one point, I said, and again, I was with former Lobo last night. I said, look at Steve and Craig just looking around, standing at the national anthem, even after that guy yelled, "Alford sucks."
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of that.
There had to be something there that just goes, damn. Because I will tell you, every place ain't like that. Every place ain't like that.
And
The
it
pit
started
was special last night.
It started with UNLV.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know the word you were using. This is familiar.
It was
goes loud.
familiar. It was the Iona game. When
And then
I
it
walked
got
in, it was like, it was
Iona.
familiar. Yeah.
Then it picked up against UNLV.
Yeah.
And then the Boise State game. And then last night,
The pit felt like the pit last night.
it was.
Yeah.
That goes to the top.
And that guy was back in there, but the pit felt like the pit last night, like in the ramp and the seats around the place. I mean, what Richard's done to bring this thing back, or the marketing people, whoever you want to give the credit to. But no, the pit's back, and this team has been really, really fun. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we return, who should have the ball in his hands? Who should be ball dominant on those last possessions when the game's on the line? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. I got an idea. And AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Conspiracy theories.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
Is 95.9 FM and AM 610.
The Sports Animal.
All right, so a tough one last night. 77-76. Lobos losing the pit last night. 21 points from Jamal Mashburn. Hey, can I drop a nickname on you that I think is good? It kind of hit me the other day. So nicknames are kind of often kind of fake-offs of other things, right? They're like the Purple People Eaters was a song, but it made sense for the Vikings defense back in the day. Or the Fearsome Foursome was a takeoff on a movie, right? The Bears have been called the monsters of the Midway for a long time. Chicago Bears, and then there's a great song called Monster Mash. I was watching the Utah State game, I think was, and I'm watching Jamal Mashburn. I just think he's the monster of the mid-range.
Yep, he is.
Great nickname.
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Can I start pushing that a little bit?
Yeah, hit him up.
The monster of the mid-range?
It's better than just mid-range mash. So, yeah.
Right? Because it's kind of a dual play, right? The monster mash, and the Bears are the monsters of the Midway on their own frozen tundra, but it wasn't there. I just thought the monster of the mid-range was terrific. All right. Not the nickname. That's all right. I got a little. I hate it, okay, but I guess when you lose a game by a point and whatever. Can I preface this by telling you? So this is not. I don't want you to think of. You know how I feel about Jalen House. I think he's terrific. I think he is the most. I've said this many times. The most dynamic player that we have seen around here in Lobo basketball I can't even remember the last time, we go back to who I think is more dynamic, right? I think you agree with me, right? Last night, 37 minutes, he had 18 points, turned the ball over only twice. Lobos only turned the ball over 10 times last night. He had 6 rebounds. He finds the ball. I think he's dynamic. But at the end of the game, I would like to see, this is me, and I'd love to hear the dissenting opinion on this if you've got it. I'd like to see the ball in Jamal Mashburn's hands more. I'd like to see him more dominant. There was one possession, and you saw who hit the big shots down the stretch. It was Mash last night, right? The monster of the mid-range. He hit shots. He hit the go-ahead shot. He had 21 points. He was 6 of 13 last night. House was 5 of 17. House had a rough shooting that last night. 1 of 9 from three-point line. It was only hit 4 3-pointers last night. But there was, I know you got it written down there. The timeout they called was at about 1:43 in the game. And they came out of the possession, and House went down the lane and put a wild layup, right? And they were they trailing at that point?
No.
Okay.
Maybe by, because there was 72-72.
Okay. Either way, it was a big possession. They were all big possessions. Here's my deal, and I get it. He's your point guard. And please understand what I'm saying here. I think he is dynamic. I think he is terrific. I think he is electric. I think he does things on the court that change the game. He's third or fourth in the nation in steals. I love his game. And unlike many of you, I actually really like his demeanor. I love what he brings to the game. Down the stretch, big possessions, I would rather see Mashburn be more ball dominant. And I know you want to see him coming off the ball, and that's how he's getting some of those shots. But I feel that Jalen at times down the stretch tries to do too much. That, to me, was one of those times. There was another possession where House had the ball, and I'm like, I want it in Mashburn's hand, and Mashburn's on the left wing in front of the bench, really not moving and involved with the offense. I don't know. Do you feel, am I picking nits too much on this?
I think the answer that's the action.
Yeah.
Because if Mash has the ball in his hands, then you're just telling everyone he's going one-on-one.
Right. I understand that.
And he makes a ton of those shots, but you still need to switch things up even in late game possession. So if you have House running something and then the ball gets out of his hands, to what you just pointed out, Mashburn coming off something, or if you just want those guys going one-on-one, I think those are two things that you're okay with. Like, I'm okay with Mash just kind of dribble, pull up because he's so effective.
Yeah, and then he had that pocket pass he tried to get to Josiah, which was a turnover late in the game on another one of those late possessions.
So I think it just depends on the action, what you want, and ultimately at the end of the possession, more times than not, you want it in Jamal Mashburn Jr.'s hands. So it's not crazy to say, but it's like, do you want him just holding it the whole time? Do you want him setting up the offense? And I think that's a really good question, because I think even at this point in time, Rich Pitino and his staff still probably thinking about late game situations, where they want to go.
Because you have Dent in there too.
House was just cold.
Who do you trust more with the ball in his hands? And again, I think he's terrific, but erratic. Dent or House at the end of a game?
I like what you get with House, because they have to respect his shot. You can play
fair.
off.
That's fair. That's really
so I
fair.
think that gives you different options too. But I do like when all three are on the floor,
and that's typically what you're seeing at the end of games,
because then you can pick, all right, which action are we going to?
Yeah, and I love his rotation at the end of games. Alec got in a little foul trouble towards the end. He went 4 guards, right, with Udeze. He had Javante in there. I know he had KJ Jenkins in there at times with Mashburn and House and Dent. I don't have any problem with the rotation and where he's going. I just, there's times where I feel that Jalen tries to do too much, and sometimes he pulls off the amazing, and you go, wow. I mean, and that, look, that's the give and take of Jalen House. I think he's terrific, and I think there's way more positive than there is negative. Way more positive than negative. I think he's a candidate. I don't know if he is anymore. Do you think he was for a while a candidate for Player of the Year? Do you think he still is?
No.
In the league? I don't think he is either. How are you going to pick, by the way, first team in this league? How are you going to pick 5 dudes in this league? No, honestly.
It's almost like, let's just pick one player off each of these top 5 teams.
Oh, it's
say,
okay. Who you taking
welcome.
off Nevada? You taking Lucas? Or you taking Blackshear? Who you taking off of Boise State? Who you taking off New Mexico? You taking House or you taking Mashburn? Who you taking? I mean, honestly, these 5. That's a whole other story, and we'll get there here in a few weeks because we're coming down the stretch. I'm interested where you think, and I've got some texts on it as well, as far as
it's not, because the way, when you have a ball dominant player, which is your point guard, and he makes a couple mistakes, he misses shots in game situations, it's going to stand out. And this is the conversation to have, because these are the games the Lobos have lost, and these are the games the Lobos are playing. It's close 1-2 possession games late. How do you want them playing? And to me, it really comes down to the action, because I'm fine with Jalen House initiating stuff, going downhill, attacking, finding Jamal Mashburn. Then I think Mashburn going on one-on-one is a good thing, and then even getting Donovan Dent involved, depending on
I like him.
where they are offensively, who they want to have
on
the floor. And then down the stretch too, it was even just Maurice Udeze just being big, grabbing the offensive rebound, hitting clutch free throws.
Hey, he hit clutch free throw. The 2 he hit to tie the game at 72, I think it was. I don't have a problem with any of that. And in fact, I like the 3 guards, because I think it helps open it up and it gets your bigs involved. And look, Jalen's been able to find the bigs. I thought he forced a pass to Josiah, and you could see him at the next dead ball. Josiah was talking to him about it. I don't know, just my thought. And my thought as I was watching it, I wanted to see the ball in the monster of the mid-range's hands because he's the guy I trust the most. And to your point, does that mean, hey, everybody knows he's shooting? It maybe, but he can dish the ball as well. It's not like the dude can't pass the ball. It's not like he can't get rid of it. What did he have last night as far as assists? He had 6 assists.
He led the
last
team
night.
in assists.
I mean, the dude can get. He's the most, to me, he's the most complete player on the club. He's the guy I trust the most. He's the most steady, complete player. And coming down the stretch in really tight games, for me, and this is kind of my tendency and where I've always been in basketball, I want to lean a little bit more on the steady and reliable than the flashy and incredible, but, erratic.
And that's a very fair point for this team in clutch time. Are you going to just lean on Jamal Mashburn Jr. more to be the playmaker? Because Jalen House can still stretch the floor. He can still attack off ball, so run him in some of those sets and trust Mash with the basketball.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. All right, when we come back, it's Super Week. Aaron Rodgers is going to go underground or in a cave or wherever he's going to go to figure out what he's going to do with his life. And Derek Carr is now talking to another team. Where may he end up? The former Raider quarterback. We got a bunch of NFL stuff going on when we return. Hey, this storm's pulling out today, and your car is going to be gunky and junky, and all. It's just going to look like crud because of all the storm. Can I suggest On-the-Spot Automotive Detailing? Give them a call, have them come out to you, and have them detail your vehicle. Detail your vehicle inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims, under the seats. Detailing is what the car lots do. When they're done, your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot, and they come to you. What does that mean, Jeff? What do you mean they come to me? You're busy. I don't know where their office is. They know where mine is. You're out working wherever you are. They're in the parking lot. You get a text. You go outside, and your vehicle looks like the day you took it off the lot. And everybody wants to know, how can I get that? Well, I'll tell you how you can get that. You call On-the-Spot Automotive Detailing. You can ask them about ceramic coating. They apply that by hand. It's the best way to protect your paint for years, and they offer a lifetime warranty. Our military receive a 10% discount, and this is a sensational Valentine's gift. Online, otsdetailing.com. Or give them a call at 505-859-2859. That's area code 505-859-2859.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong finish.
She's gonna got numbers. Gonna
1
make it.
second. She slips it in just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. One against the screen. Ball fake, but rejected. Boom. Rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E-Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
What happened to the boys? And oh boy.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
Aaron Rodgers is going to decide about his future. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show, as he does on Tuesdays, and he told, and McAfee was great with him. What are you going to just hide in an igloo? What are you going to, I mean, like, what? He's going on a 4-day, is Rodgers, 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. Probably next week. Not sure I think I've ever heard of a 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. Have you?
No.
I
don't get a lot of ads for that one.
Yeah, you want to go to? I do. I get a lot of ads for, go here's 6 nights in Maui, or you want to go down to Cabo or wherever. I don't get the darkness retreat stuff, and this is where, look, he's what he is. He did his retreat last summer and hallucinated and figured out what he wanted to do. He said, quote, I got a pretty cool opportunity to do a little self-reflection in some isolation. And then after that, I feel like I'll be a lot closer to a final decision, end quote. Hasn't decided, he said. And he said, playing with another team or retiring is all legitimate. So, look, man, I'm not going to sit here. And I've heard plenty of people mock it and knock it. And he's kooky and what's he going to do? And he's going to, whatever, man. If you're in a position where you can do this and you think this is going to help you and you're going to just go sit with your own feelings, I mean, it's insane, right? I want you to think about 4 days of nothing. 4 days of just you in your own head, right? Somebody delivers you meals. No, honestly.
That's usually for punishment.
Right? It sounds like isolation in prison in some respects. I mean, that's what they do to you, right? I mean, when I heard this yesterday, I started thinking about it. 4 days, 4 nights in whatever it is. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an igloo, but wherever it is, in isolation, absolute darkness, absolute silence. Somebody brings you meals, and that's it. There's no connection with anybody, anything. It's just you and your head. I'm going to tell you, and and there's been plenty of people who've been mocking him and laughing at him and clowning him. You got to be pretty settled to be able to do that, man. You better like yourself a little bit and be pretty comfortable with who you are to go sit in wherever it is. I don't care how big or small a place is, in isolation with just you and darkness and silence for 4 days.
The biggest thing to me out of this is the following week, if I'm Green Bay, I'm saying, all right, Aaron, fantastic. Now give us...
Did you see the light?
what direction you want to go in.
Yeah.
So we can start planning, if you're coming back, what this roster is going to look like. If you want to play somewhere else, we'll start fielding some phone calls and see what makes sense, what we want to do moving forward, or if you're ready to retire. And so if I'm Green Bay, I'm like, fantastic. Go do your thing, take your week, and then we're having a discussion. And we're getting a plan moving forward. Because if I'm Green Bay, I'm putting some pressure on Rodgers after this. Saying this is not dragging out to the draft. This is not dragging out to June.
What are you doing, dude?
Make a decision.
Yep, because the other thing
if
is...
you're undecided, we will make it for you.
Well, the other thing is, if he goes public with this, he forces their hand and he handcuffs them, right? He cuts the value of the trade, right? If he just comes out and wants to do something like that. No, you're 100% right. At some point, it's not all about you, dude. You want it to be all about you for a week after the Super Bowl? Cool. I mean, go sit in a closet or an igloo or wherever it is you're going to go sit. And can you imagine 4 days of just you? Silence, darkness, you.
I would like maybe like a phoneless trip, but not just sit in a blackout house.
Right?
Like maybe just like watch some mindless television.
No, that's not what this is. This is a
uninterested
darkness.
sports. Go out in the like nature in the mountains
Right?
or something.
That sounds kind of chill, but I guess the whole point is that would take your mind off of whatever, and you would get to free think. But this is it's you, and I can't even imagine. Like I know everybody's been clowning it, but I want you to think it through for a minute.
Yeah, no, you're just in a dark black house for 4 days
With you.
Yeah.
In your own head. Like JJ said, that's what they do to prisoners in isolation when they're getting punished in prison, right? Or in war camps. God bless him. If he pulls it off and makes him feel better, like I get it. The thing to do is clown him.
If this makes him go to the Jets, I can't wait to see what happens.
I want to go from the darkest, most quiet place on earth to New York City.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to go live in the most populous, insane, kooky place after
where
being
the media is going to eat.
Yeah, after 4 days of this. Yeah.
Mm.
He said, quote, for sure, when it was asked about being traded, it's a real thing, 100%. That's why it's going to be important to get through this week and to take my isolation retreat and just to be able to contemplate all things my future and then be able to make a decision that I think is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of my happiness and then move forward. I'm sitting in isolation, meditation, dealing with your thoughts. It stimulates DMT, so can be some hallucinations, but it's just kind of sitting in silence, which most of us never do. We rarely even turn off our phone or put the blinds down to sleep in darkness. I'm really looking forward to it. How long do you think you can last? And by the way, he can leave whenever he wants, right? It's not like he's in prison. If it gets to him, if he's like, "Whoa, all right, I'm done. I figured it out. I'm going to the Jets, or I'm quitting, or I can't handle this crap anymore." How long would you? I guess we could all do it. How long would you want to do it? Because it kind of you wouldn't want to do it.
I would do it like for a night where I'd fall asleep
yeah.
and then wake up.
Okay.
That's not the way I disconnect. I'm more of the, hey, let's go out. Like, we're going up to the mountains. We're going somewhere. Like, that's the type of thing I'd rather be outside. Dark room, no thank you.
Something.
I'll just sleep in it for a nap or overnight.
Or an igloo or whatever it is. How long do you think you could do it, or would you want to do it?
I don't want to do it at all.
You wouldn't want to do it at all?
Absolutely no.
I think I could do it for a day or two. I think it almost would be like this is where I'm not the guy clowning.
Does he
them.
eat?
Yeah, they deliver meals, so that's the only. I don't even know if there's any sort of
water.
It's not like he's starving himself, right? He will have meals delivered. That's the only. I don't even think there's interaction. I think they just kind of drop off meals. I think I could do it, and I almost would like to. I couldn't do. Well, I could. I don't want to do 4.
I could do anything. I'm just saying I don't want to.
Right. I think
put my mind to.
I think I would like it for a day or 2. Just completely.
Did they say where it was?
Undisclosed location.
And like, what kind of house are we talking about?
Well, I don't know if we're talking about an igloo or
he said
a mountain
house.
retreat or
Yesterday
a
he
palace.
said Yesterday he just said a black, like a dark house.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure it's somewhere safe and quiet, and I'm sure it's secure, and there's a way to I'm sure there's a procedure on this. I'm sure he's not the first one who's ever done it. I'm sure this has been proven by science or whatever to have positive effects on some people. I could go totally cleanse my mind for a couple of days.
I think it's important to turn off.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I just could not do that long in isolation.
And that's why I respect this. That's why I'm not clowning it like everybody is. Oh, you're going to go sit in a cave and you're going to come out.
No, it's because it's Aaron Rodgers. He's been doing off-the-charts things that's not like the rest of us for the last 2 years. And he drags this on throughout the offseason.
All that is right.
And
All that
is
right.
Okay, dude, you're going to get paid or our team wants you. Like, what do you want? What does he really want?
That's why I'm the Packers.
That's what's so annoying.
When that 4 days is up, I'll give you 2 days to
figure it out.
Why
come back to reality,
this game?
and then let's have a meeting.
We paid you. What else do you want? What else do you want?
See, I'm with you, and that's why I think he's
like,
playing.
what are you doing?
Yeah, that's why I think he's playing there.
What are we doing?
He's going to go sit in darkness for 4 days and think, I don't need $50 million more?
No, I don't even. I'm going to go play for the Jets. No, he's playing for the Packers.
I think that's
it's
right,
not
too.
crazy that he's playing for somewhere else.
No, I know.
And it's not
through all this circus and
so you think it would be the
stuff.
Raiders, right?
Oh, yeah, to go be with
I think the Raiders would be more willing to
give
do
what
what
they
it
need.
takes.
Do they have what it's going to take?
It's not going to take that much. Like at this point in time, if you're Green Bay, like if you're
done.
holding out for 4 first-round picks, then you're never getting rid of Aaron Rodgers.
That's 100% right. All right, how long could you do this? I'm just curious. Would you want to do this? I'm like, we all want silence. We all say, hey, I just want peace. I just want silence. I just want to shut. How long would you do this? Would you want to do it? I know I'm in the minority. I know you think I'm an idiot. I don't even care. Like, I honestly don't. There's a part of me that insanely respects being able to do this. You've got to be so comfortable with you, because you could drive yourself nuts in your own head, man. Just you for 4 days. How long would you want to do it? I'm down with it. I got no problem. And to his point, he's not waiting to do this until April. He's doing it the week after the Super Bowl. And JJ, I can't agree with you more. After that, I'm the Packers. All right, what are we doing, dude? You just had your 4 days of self-hallucination and reflection. What the hell are you going to do? 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. That's the text line and the phone line. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Derek Carr is going somewhere, not to isolation. He's going to another town to talk to another team. Who's the Raiders quarterback talking to? We'll get into that. Hey, are you a business owner? Do you like free government money? Yes, you do. So listen up. The federal government has promised over $135 billion in tax refunds for small and medium-sized businesses who kept employees on payroll through COVID. So business owners are eligible for this employee retention credit, even if you received PPP funds. RefundsPro.com. That's RefundsPro.com specializes in cutting through the red tape for this government program and makes qualifying quick and easy. Refunds Pro does all the heavy lifting, and most of the refunds are more than, listen to me, most of the refunds are more than $100,000. Imagine you could use that money right about now, huh? There's no downside to this. Apply. The fees are, well, there are no fees, and unless you receive a refund. So there's no fees unless you receive a refund. RefundsPro.com has helped hundreds of businesses qualify, and the best part is, you don't have to pay a penny back to the government. This is as close as it gets to free government money. There's a deadline now. So visit RefundsPro.com. Get started before it's too late. RefundsPro.com. That is RefundsPro.com.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and
EM 610, the sports animal.
All right, well, you just kind of learn more about this little house that he's going to be in.
Because I briefly looked at yesterday.
We're talking Aaron Rodgers.
I roll my eyes
in his darkness
like
retreat.
You do as the night.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So I'm trying to be a professional person in the media. But, okay, so you're not locked in, so you can leave the house.
Right.
Okay, so it's a room in a little house. Just to give everyone a picture. Don't know the location, but that's where it is. There's a two-way slot that they'll, as you guys mentioned, they'll drop in some food for you, but it's isolation darkness, no music, no nothing. Just, and Aaron Rodgers keeps repeating, just myself You can wear adult diapers if you want.
Oh, that's
okay.
That's nice of them.
But there is a bathroom.
So it's optional on the adult diapers and or the bathroom.
Yeah, and they keep noting that he paid for this. You're in there for 4 nights, and you come out on the last day after the 4th night. You're in there all day, all night. He just keeps doing that. And he said this. It's not like you bring a journal or music or anything. There's no sounds. It's just sitting in isolation, meditation, being with your thoughts. It stimulates DMT, so there can be some hallucinations in there, but it just kind of in silence, which most of us rarely do. He's like, I'm not scared. I've been looking forward to this. So
good for him. I'm going to tell you I respect it. All right, one other thing I want to tell you, and then we'll go to you. Derek Carr has been granted permission to speak with the New Orleans Saints. Jeremy Fowler reported this. It will be today in Metairie, Louisiana, at the Saints facility. It's his first known visit since he was granted permission to go do this. Here's the deal. There's a February 15th. What's today? The 8th? So a week from now, there's a trigger date on Carr's contract. $40.4 million of his salary becomes guaranteed. 32 something for this year and 7.5 for next year. So the situation basically requires the Raiders or the new team to absorb those guarantees, meaning the Raiders would likely choose to release him if nobody wants to trade for him within a week.
I could see him anywhere in the NFC South. I just got to get deeper into draft picks and whatnot.
Yeah, I could see him in Tampa Bay, too.
Or Carolina.
Yeah, all those places. All right, 505-246-0610. You had some.
Well, and this is one that if you really want Derek Carr, you can get him, but I'm waiting him out. Because but if it's the 15th, there's a $40 million contract trigger in Derek Carr's contract, so we'll find out in like 5 days if he's on that roster or not.
And if the risk in waiting him out is somebody else going to take him. So, Chad, good morning. Hello, Chad.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, I was just listening to what you said about Aaron Rodgers there. There's a book out there called the Comfort Crisis, and it's kind of it talks about this. It talks about not necessarily 4 days, but even just spending 30 minutes doing nothing, trying to incorporate that into your life, so you can kind of it's a recharge. Yeah. It's a way to stimulate your creativity, step outside the box of your life, so to speak. And it also talks about how through most of time, only 0.03% of our existence as humans have we had all these comforts that we have today, access to food, shelter, this comfort that we have, and these comforts that constantly creep into us, our lives more and more and more, so we have to do less and less and less. So the norm becomes, and what we can tolerate is less and less and less. So actually, I'm getting a little philosophical here, but we were hunters and gatherers for most of our time.
That's right.
There was a lot of discomfort in our life not having food readily available. We can tolerate more than what we are doing today. And maybe I'm going off a little tangent here, but it's kind of I like that he's doing this, this different thing. I don't know if I do 4 days, but there's something to trying something where we get out of our comfort zone and we kind of get in touch with, get more of maybe what we were, our primal self, so to speak, what we actually really feel and think without the influence of the outside.
I think you and I are singing the same song. Yeah, we're singing the same song. I feel the same way.
Get uncomfortable to get comfortable. It's what we've done most of our existence as humans. We've, like I said today, it's a really it's really kind of changed how I think a lot. That kind of thinking, because it's how we mostly were. So
no, it's good stuff.
I also think Aaron Rodgers is a little bit on a side note. I also think there's other things he's done where, he's not married. He doesn't have kids.
Yeah,
he can afford to spend all this time on self-discovery that most of us aren't doing. So I think there are other times there's a bit narcissistic kind of tendencies with him. But with this thing, I tend to agree that this is a good method.
Great stuff. No, thanks, Chad. I appreciate it. So, Chad's kind of where I am, huh? If it's for you, go do your thing. How we doing here? We got to be really close, huh? All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I want to get through this, and And we'll get top of the hour, which is 8 o'clock, which is coming up here in a few. We're going to get back into a little Lobo basketball. I'll take your call on that. Bruin James, how you feeling today?
Hey, I'll finish real quick. I grew up in the greatest time in the world, in the greatest time in the 80s in Southern California, and I privileged to watch the Lakers and the Celtics, probably the greatest basketball players of our time, our generation, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Yes, I'm giving Larry Bird props. He's awesome. And the thing is, man, Kareem played on these teams, and he had the sky hook, and he was a Laker. He's a true legend, a true legend. LeBron James to me, he ain't nothing. He's a media darling. They put him up there on Sports Illustrated and all this. Man, Kareem is always going to be a god to me as a Laker fan. And
right.
LeBron could. Bye, later, guys.
Yeah, no, thanks. At the top of the hour, a lot of Laker fan feels that way, but you know what he is? More than nothing, he's the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Heartbreak last night. I know you got thoughts on. I'll get you some of your thoughts. Lobos lose 77-76, the pitch in Nevada, and you are responding to that in interesting ways. That's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Cumulus Media Station, the sports animal. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and J.J. Buck.
Nevada inbounds in the front court. Williams gets it into Blackshear. 14 seconds left. Blackshear's going to run out clock in the Lobo shield logo at center court. Now he initiates, comes off the screen. Nash guarding him. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Blackshear going to work. Blackshear, step back J is good with the horn sounding. And Nevada appears to have won 76-75. They will check the clock, but it looks like the Wolfpack might have just broken New Mexico's heart.
And that's, in fact, what they did. Keenan Blackshear with a jumper that laid on the rim, bounced on the rim, rolled through the bucket. They put a tenth of a second back on the clock, not enough time to do anything. And the Lobos lose last night in the pit, 77-76. That was Robert Portnoy over on News Radio KKOB and along the Lobo Radio Network. Jefferson Bieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie. Adrian's producing for you on ProView Networks on the visual medium today. Thanks for being with us on a Wednesday morning as we get through it. We were just talking about Aaron Rodgers and going to a dark place. Text line says, I'm in a dark place after the Lobos game last night. I think a lot of Lobo fans feel that way, JJ. Heartbreaker, heart-wrencher, because the game meant so much, and as you've said a few times today, because it was those guys on the other bench.
It's a total buzzkill. This is what happens in a good basketball league. Good teams beat each other up. But for the Lobos to be 6-5 right now, it's an eye-opener.
Yeah.
It's a shock to the system for how good the season started, for how good people think this team is. And they lost on a buzzer beater. There's still things that have stood out the last few games. I think are frustrating. The first half defense, the questions down the stretch, which are very fair. And I thought you talking about who do you want to have the basketball late game situations is a big question. I think Lobo fans all season long and not just last night, they're 50-50 on Jalen House. And that's going to be the player to watch down the stretch because there's a lot of Lobo fans that are out in this guy. I don't understand it. Yes, can he make some mistakes at times? Sure, but I think the good has outweighed the bad.
Can you
with
be
Jalen House.
100% in on him like I am, but still?
I think you are in the minority.
What does that mean?
Like you either like him or you don't.
No, I absolutely like him. I'm absolutely so. I think he's the most dynamic player I've seen around here in a long time. I think he's erratic at times, and sometimes makes the incredible. And you're like, man, I'm glad he had the ball. And there's other times he gets out of control, and you're like, why don't we have somebody more steady holding the ball here and directing things? I thought coming out of the timeout, the drive down the lane I thought was out of control. I thought the pocket pass he tried to Alec late in the game, it was a turnover. Those are two crucial possessions. And then Mash gets the ball a couple of times, and the monster of the mid-range drops him, and we're hitting. I love him. I love his demeanor.
But it's magnified in close games, and this
yeah.
is what this team plays, is tight basketball games when you talk about them versus the other top four teams in the Mountain West. And with all that being 6-5, it is a completely different feeling for this team because I don't think it's crazy to sit here and say that's a good basketball team.
They are a good basketball
But the reality is, 3 games back.
Yep.
They still have some work to do to be comfortable on Selection Sunday if they're not an automatic qualifier.
They are an NCAA tournament caliber team that has work to do and has no more room for error.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I know you want to talk about. Thanks for holding. What's up, my friend?
Oh, very good. How are you, Jeff?
Good.
Yeah, my observation is it's kind of like if you know that one kid that was lighting him up, how in the world can you not just say, all right, we're going to double team him and we'll make somebody else do a half-court shot? That I didn't get, and they may be good, but these guys don't have their edge anymore. I mean, there's just some bad decision-making at the end of games, whether it's players, coaches, I don't know. But if they continue to play like this and not value the possessions, don't worry about NCAA. Don't even worry about NIT because, it's not going to happen. They're not focused enough. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something happened. For sure. And focus needs to be back where it needs to be. Now, hang on, Jeff.
No, I appreciate you. A couple of things in there. I think they're absolutely going to the NIT, worst case scenario. I think they've already earned their way into the postseason. This is a postseason club. And if you'd have started at the beginning of the year and said Richard Pitino's second year of the NIT, you wouldn't have loved it, but you'd said, all right, we're making progress around here. Then you become the last undefeated team in America, and obviously the standard goes higher. They only turned the ball over 10 times yesterday.
It's 7 in the second half.
But 7 in the second half. Yeah. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing today?
Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. So, do 10 days in a hospital bed. That'll get you meditating.
Yeah, I think I'd rather do 4
You know-
days in isolation, honestly.
Right. I hear you. There's several religious sects around the world that practice the self-isolation, and they've all determined that it can be just as harmful as beneficial. So, especially to an untrained mind. And I'll just leave that at that. I thought Udeze firmly did his job last night. It was a joy to be at the pit and watch that young man play last night. He had steals. He went up. He composed himself. Again, I think Jalen played out of control, but that's how he plays. And Jeff, I'm with you. I love transition basketball, and when he gets to rolling down the court, man, it's like a freight train. Either get out of the way or foul him. And so with that, I really enjoy. The Mountain West is awesome this year. I mean, that's a serious conference. The teams are all, the top 5 are all really good teams. Anything can happen at any time. I enjoyed the game thoroughly. I didn't enjoy the outcome, but being there, the atmosphere with my friends and my ears ringing, I didn't get very much sleep last night, but it was just awesome, man. I loved it. And, the pit is just, I'm so happy that I can say that, I've been there, I participated, and all I can say is I love my Lobos, man. Go
All right, Dan.
Lobos.
Thank you, Dan. Pit's back. Look, the pit is back. It's fun. It's entertaining. Losing sucks. Losing to those guys sucks. But he's right. Every game now is really, really fun. Ray, good morning. How you feeling?
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
Yeah, the Lobos, I think there's just a few things. I don't like, I called you before, I don't like, they help too much. When they see a pick coming, right away they want to switch. Go through the pick like the other teams do. They just switch too much, and that gets them in a bind where they have a layup or a three-point shot. But other than that, they play pretty decent. But the Nevada, you got to give them hands down. They got to give it to them. They're a good team, and I think they're in the driver's seat for the Mountain West, because if you look at their schedule, they got Utah State, and then they play their next 6-7 games. They got Wyoming. Well, I think Wyoming twice, Fresno State twice. Their only hard game is Utah State, and they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they've split with
for that
San Diego
Mountain West.
State.
But like we said at the beginning of the year, we never thought the Lobos were going to be like this in their second year, and it's still. Like every year, it's still going to come down to that Mountain West tournament.
Yeah, Ray, it isn't over yet.
The top 6 teams could beat anybody.
I think that's right. No, Ray, appreciate you. Be well. This thing's not over. I know we lose our minds after losses, and I don't know how it was after Utah State. I read the Twitter, but I know people were losing their minds. It's not over yet. You've got opportunity in front of you. You're just kind of out of mulligans. You can't lose at Air Force on Friday, right?
Yeah.
You can't lose at home to Wyoming. You've got to win all those games. And boy, if you can get up in Boise and steal that one up there, that would go a long, long way, wouldn't it? And that game against the Aztecs on the 25th in the pit becomes really, really big.
Opportunities are there. This team shouldn't, even with the questions, have a problem with the teams that are not named Boise State or San Diego State. What we've seen out of them this season in most of those contests. And it's the little things. It is talking about late game situations, who you're going to have the basketball, because more times than not, they've been good this season.
Yeah.
Like, I know last night you're looking at that Jalen House drive, missed layup, Desi kicks the ball out of bounds, missed opportunity there with under a minute to go, things like that. But they have made the plays with House and Mashburn and Dent on the floor. But it's still, tweaking the system. And the question of, man, if you would have told them this at the beginning of the season has changed.
Yeah.
Because
Well, the
we
standard
watch it
changed
and
when
we
we were
know the
13 now.
roster is going to be different. And this year is about getting to that NCAA tournament.
Mike, good morning. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was at the pit last night. What a show.
It's tough when you're walking away with the loss, but at the end of the day, you look at the product on the floor, you got to love them. I mean, I don't think they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Obviously at this point, we're hoping for a really strong run in Vegas, which I've been there many times and watched them do so.
Yep.
Just have a question, for those basketball guys, and gals. But it seems like they're doing a half court now. They're not pushing the ball. You're mile high up. Why are teams allowed to just rest on a half court offense? It seems like they walk it down. They take possessions away from some of the offense by running the clock. And it seemed like, when did we slow that down? How many games ago? And why? It seems like this team was built for running. That's what it was earlier in the year when they were 13-0.
Yeah, and Mike, I appreciate it, and we're going to answer off the air. Thanks for the call. This is my opinion on this, and I want yours. I think they run when they have the opportunity. I think they want to run first. I think that House has pushed the ball as much as he can. I think that they are getting out in transition as much as they can, but being more selective. Is that?
Yeah, and Rich Pitino, if you've listened to him all season long, he wants post touches. And to get post touches, you're still setting up a half-court offense. Now, if you're looking at what's kind of been off, I think Josiah Alec has kind of forced a lot of things within the offense and not just been kind of the garbage guy that's let it come to him. First half, Nevada did a really good job taking Morris Udeze away. They double-teamed him. Morris made some nice plays out of it. And so those are things you have to look at in the game, too, that puts more pressure on the guards when teams are going to double Udeze and then make him become a playmaker. But if you look at it, too, to answer that question, if you're just looking at possessions per 40 minutes, Lobos are 27th in the nation. They're still a top 30 team and pushing the tempo. It just looks a little different when you're not necessarily running and gunning as much.
All right, you're there. I know you want to talk about it. We're going to get more of your calls in. I got a bunch of correspondence on the email and on the text line on Lobo basketball last night. So we're going to continue that, including somebody asked, what was the best Lobo team ever? We'll get there, and a comparison on Jalen House to a highly paid NBA star.
Lobo fan, you showed up last night. Whether or not you were ready to go to pregame at 377 Brewery. If you haven't been to 377 Brewery or haven't been hearing me rave about it, 377 Brewery is your go-to place before all your Lobo events. And we have Isotopes around the corner, United around the corner. It is your pregame spot. And it's because it's conveniently located right by all the stadiums on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson. A lot of people were surprised when they came in. They just thought it was a small brewery. There's a huge patio that they've just redone. It's heated. It's beautiful. Rain, snow, slush. You can sit out there, enjoy your meal. They also have a big, beautiful room where we've been throwing the pep rallies for the Lobos. We have a week off until our next home game against Wyoming next week on Valentine's Day, which will be the next pregame, which are 2.5 hours before the games that include food, drink, and prize giveaways. But besides that, I just want to fill you guys in too. Besides sporting events, pre-games, they also have live music coming to you this Friday and stand-up comedy coming to you the Friday following next. So come to 377brewery.com. Support local. It's awesome. Again, it's on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson, or you can check them out at 377brewery.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
You guys are fired up about this. The phones are buzzing. The text line's buzzing. Emails are hot. Lobos lose last night, 77-76 in the pit. Last second shot by Keenan Blackshear, and just a heartbreaker. What do you think of this one? And then we're going to phones. Text line says, Jalen House feels like the Lobos version of Russell Westbrook at times. Can be sensational, can be erratic.
Yes.
Okay. Russell Westbrook's been a hell of he's an NBA MVP, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So, I love his game. I love his game. I love his passion. I love his energy. He is dynamic, and he's erratic at times. And so you with some of the greats, you take the positive with some of the not so positive. Manny, good morning. Thanks for holding. How you living?
Good morning, guys. Hey, what an atmosphere last night. Wow.
No doubt.
Crazy. A couple of things, guys. I had Blackshear down with 5 fouls. I thought, didn't he get a flagrant foul in the first half to get his third? And then
so the flagrant
he ended
only
up with 4 fouls, right, Jeff? Is it just me or?
Yeah, the flagrant only counts as one. Was the flagrant on him?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
it's
so
upgraded to a flagrant.
Yeah,
foul.
you don't get a second.
You don't
So
get
the
a foul on top of it.
technical, you would get an extra foul, right? If he got a technical
okay.
foul, it
So
would have been.
That's where I was lost
yeah.
then, because I was thinking, God, this kid has 5 fouls, doesn't he?
No.
Second, Game was 65-60 with about 5 minutes, 40-plus seconds. We run a play. We hit a 3. The ref calls an N1.
Yeah.
Blackshear runs into Alec.
Yes.
They wouldn't change that call. We didn't scratch the next play.
Yes.
That hurt us. And I told my wife, we were sitting there, and I told her, that play is going to come back to bite us in the you-know-what.
Yeah.
Watch.
No, that's a
'Cause
great
we
call.
didn't score. We hit a 3. We should have got the ball back, or maybe I don't know how it works.
Well, I thought there was going to be a one
we
free
were sitting
throw
with
on
a
it.
bunch of good people. It was fun. We were high-fiving, and then it just went downhill.
No, I forgot about that one. Manny, thanks for the
Yeah.
call. No, appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jeff. Thanks, guys.
Here's what
Good
happened.
job this morning.
Thank you, Manny. That was a big play. So why can't I get rid of that? Lobos hit a 3 going into the media timeout, and there's a foul. There was a whistle blown as the shot goes up, and there was a foul called, I believe, on Blackshear away from the ball. And as we went to break on TV, because I went back and watched this, it was going to be a 3-point shot, and you thought the Lobos. JJ, I think the call is you don't get the ball back, get a chance for a 5-6 point possession, you get a free throw, right? If they count the 3, and they would have gotten 1 free throw. Came back from the TV break, and they determined that the foul away from the ball was before the ball left the shooter's hand, and they took it off the board, and the Lobos missed a 3-point attempt that had an empty possession.
Yeah, it would have made it 65-63 with a free throw to come. And that also, with 7:48 left, was Blackshear's 4th foul.
It was 7:48, and there he was at the end of the game, hitting the game winner. Yeah. And just for clarification, if
and you had the favorable whistle all night long.
Yeah, Lobos first half, I think at one point with 4 minutes to go, it was 6-3 fouls were called. They were letting them play, and you want to let them play. Referees to me weren't an issue in this game.
But I mean, the Lobos had 28 free throw attempts. Yeah, Nevada had 10.
Yeah, you can't complain about the referees in this one. To clarify, personal foul on the flagrant. Personal foul, if it's upgraded to a flagrant, it's still 1 foul against you. Now, if it was a technical foul, right? They call it technical foul. Then that is also an additional personal foul. Does that make sense? So he only was assessed 1 foul. It was upgraded to a flagrant. You got 2 free throws of the ball, but it is not an additional foul. JT, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Was at the game last night, man. Incredible atmosphere. I've been to a handful of Lobo games this season. That was one of the better ones, even though we had the heartbreak at the end. But yeah, I just also got to give it up to the student section, man. They just they brought it all night, and they were on all for it at Noodles like you wouldn't believe, man. It was hilarious. There was a kid that had a whiteboard. He was just writing stuff on it all night. Cracked me up one time. He wrote, Cullen could never shoot. I just kind of chuckled at that one. But, man, I love the Lobos this year. I just, every once in a while, they just have these defensive breakdowns that just leaves me scratching my head, and I just can't figure it out. And then regarding Jalen House, he just had an off night last night. It looked like he tried to force a couple threes here and there. And, he just drives in, he gets it in, says he's going to drive it, and he doesn't have a plan B. But you know what? That's his game, and you love it or leave it, and I love it. I wouldn't trade Jalen House for the world, man. I think he's part of the reason why, or a lot of the reason why we're at right now.
Inarguable. Yeah, that's inarguable, JD. You're 100% right. He's a huge reason why you are where you are. So, all right, man.
Yeah, and so like I said, man, love it or leave it, but I love him, man. So
appreciate
that.
It's the empty possessions of Jalen House, right? That frustrate most people, because I think people would absolutely be shocked at the assist to turnover ratio when it comes to Jalen House.
And he only had 2 turnovers last night, right?
But it's the drives, the misses in the lane that really seem to get people frustrated.
All right. What did you guys think of the atmosphere last night?
It was awesome.
I love it.
I'm
telling you, this reminds me of like growing up here, and just it brings me back to my childhood growing up here. Like how we keep guys saying that the pit is back. It's like that magic. Not that the magic never went away. It just
the home rims are not
I've been
supposed
away,
to be
but-
that nice to the away.
Yeah. Oh God, was that the longest? You'll hear it. We have the Patino clips. That was the longest. You're like, oh,
It was.
it's like going in.
All right, here's the visiting coach, and Steve Alford knows a little bit about the atmosphere in the pit last night. He talked about what the place was like and his perspective, because he was asked, what do you tell your players about coming in here? And because I thought it was special last night. Last night, like I've told you, I thought it's been familiar, Last night, it felt like the pit again.
It's a special place. I've said it. Not only is it a special fan base in here at games, it's a special arena. The pit's special to me. It's I just think it's one of the neatest venues in college basketball. You know, dating all the way back to Valvano winning in here, and it's just it's a special place. And you know, I came here when I was at Iowa to watch Coach Knight play in the Sweet 16. Not even dreaming that I'd be coaching here, and I went from Iowa to here the following year. And then just tried to build it, you know, and we had a lot of fun through 6 years with a lot of sellouts, and I think Coach Pitino's doing a phenomenal job, and they've got a very good team, and that crowd was back. So you just try to tell your team, and more than really what the pit was going to.
I think that's the crowd was back, and he was here in 2020, and people came out basically to boo him, right? In 2020,
yeah.
This year they came out certainly to boo him. But they came out because of their team. I think that's a pretty good perspective. I mean, do you guys agree with him?
I do agree.
Yes.
You've been to other places. You've been to this. When I got here, 96 is when I started covering Lobo basketball. And I remember the first few years here, I used to tell people about, you know, this job and why I love being at Channel 7. And that was the most special part of this job. By far, working local media in this market, because you could walk into that building, walk down the ramp, and it didn't matter if they were playing Southwest Texas State or Corpus Christi A&M or Utah, right? It didn't matter. Every night, and that place was special. And we're starting to get back there. And that's what I was telling you about the familiarity on the Iona game and the familiarity at UNLV. Last night felt like the pit. The place was popping last night. It felt like the pit. And it's special. And give Richard a lot of credit. And your team lost last night. JJ, I firmly still believe this is an NCAA tournament caliber basketball team. The season's not over because you lost these last couple of games. They got to figure things out. I mean, you lose a game by a point on a last-second ball that lays on the rim for 3 seconds. You're still a pretty good team. That thing rolls off, and you're feeling a whole other way this morning, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So don't give it up. I mean, look, it hurts. Last night sucked, but it was pretty special in there. And the place
is back. Yeah. Like, it's not coming back, it's back. It's a Tuesday night.
Snowing.
Yeah. And you're thinking about, hey, we're leaving, you know, the pit at 11 o'clock. What's it going to be like getting home? Like, that's a fair question. If it is ice over, like, those things are on your mind.
Yeah.
You're just living your life. But there was zero doubt in my mind that they snuck over by 4, but you were hitting that 15,000 mark in that game last night.
15,004. Hey, business owners, are your computers and networks secure? You sure about that? Like really sure about it? You need to be. Get a hold of ABQ IT. You've got to know your system is protected from hackers and cybercrime, because a gap in the cybersecurity can do major damage to your business, and the threat is real. ABQ IT provides a thorough look at your computer security. They will let you know where you're at risk. ABQ IT created a business model designed to protect you from malicious threats. Keep your computers up to date, and they do it all at one affordable monthly cost. And you need to know this. By June 9th of this year, many businesses will have to ensure the personal data of customers and make sure it is protected. Are you aware of the FTC safeguards rule? Your business may face penalties if you are not compliant by that deadline. With ABQ IT, you will be prepared. There's no hourly rate, no labor billing, no hidden fees. Your rate will be predictable every month. It will not change. You got to protect your business. It just flat out is not worth the risk hoping bad things won't happen to you. Trust the experts in cybersecurity and compliance. Trust ABQ IT. Visit them online, abq-it.com, abq-it.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
On Sunday, right? We had this conversation Monday, Emer. You weren't here.
Saturday.
I firmly believe Super Bowl should be Saturday.
My first Super Bowl with you guys, we discussed this, but because no one wants to go to work Monday.
Right, and everybody says, well, they should give us Monday off. They're not giving you Monday off, man. We get enough damn holidays. People, they're not giving you another day off, right? I mean, I don't think we get enough holidays.
I know it'd be a big change for Saturday, but I agree, though, too, because everyone, it's like non-sports fans celebrate Super Bowl.
Why would it be such a big change?
I don't think it would be really that big.
Why? I mean, you're taking 2 weeks off before, so you could totally put yourself on schedule, whatever your schedule happens to be. You play this thing on a Saturday night. Now, I think the only holdback is TV ratings on Sunday night are better than Saturday night, but I believe this event would be, it's proven to be big enough where people would make Saturday night plans around this thing. Uber, get themselves wherever they want to be, stay at a hotel, whatever, wake up hungover on Sunday, work it off on Sunday, and get to work on Monday and be productive. Like, I think corporate America would be all about this.
Totally. And then a lot of people travel for it,
Yes.
and then you get Sunday back to
Yeah,
travel.
but you lose Friday on the back end. Like, you're going to lose another
Always.
day on the back end, right? And so I understand that. But the people who travel, let's be honest, like the people who are going to the Super Bowl, like I know a bunch of people are going over to Phoenix to party this week, and because you got the Waste Management going on and you got the Super Bowl. And I did this weekend, whenever the last time the Waste Management was the same week as the Super Bowl in Arizona. And it was bonkers, dude. It like every bar, it was bonkers. The town was just off the freaking chain. And so I got a lot of people going over. But the people who go to the Super Bowl, let's be honest, most of them are running their own show, right? And it's not a lot of common folk going to the Super Bowl, right?
No.
Punching clocks at 9 to 5.
No.
Right. So they can
It's a
take
little pricey.
Yeah, they can take the day off. I just so you're on the Super Saturday thing, right?
Yes.
Why not? Like what's the argument against it? Well, it's always been Sunday. That's the crap argument.
I think that is the argument, though.
But it's okay. I mean, I've always done radio the same way, and I'm trying to evolve and do things differently, and you can't live on that argument, right? We always did it on Sunday. Football's always played on Sunday, somebody told us. No, it's not. It's played on Thursday and Saturday and Monday, too, all season long.
And this is a game that it's proven that you could play this Wednesday afternoon.
That's right.
And it would not affect the ratings.
100%.
Like, this is the event that you adjust to. It does not adjust to you. So if you wanted to do it on Saturday, because there is enough people that have pushed that have thrown it out there, it would still make a ton of sense. Have your parties, have your Sunday to recover, and then back at it Monday. Let's go, breaking it all down, talking about the parades and going to Disneyland.
Right.
Everything else.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all win. Everybody would win. Your parties would be bigger, and you can carry your party into the next day. And I mean, hell, if they even want to play, I guess they wouldn't play the Pro Bowl because so many of those guys are there. But they could do something the next day. I just think it would be even bigger on Saturday. I just do. I just think it would be gigantic. Meanwhile, we got NFL news. If you weren't with us earlier, you missed it yesterday. If you were somewhere in the dark, Aaron Rodgers is going into the dark to figure out what he wants to do. He's going on a 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. Told Pat McAfee that yesterday to figure out what he wants to do, just to get in touch with himself. And I know everybody's clowning him, and I'll tell you, I respect it. I don't know that I could do it for 4 days. I could. We all could. Would I want to? I think I'd want to for a couple of days, yeah, to kind of just cleanse my head. How often do we just turn? When was the last time you turned your phone off when you weren't on an airplane? When was the last time you turned it off and didn't have connectivity? When was the last time you sat in silence in a room with no music, no TV, no stimulation, nobody? It just sat there with you, aside from when you were asleep. And that's what he's going to do. And if this helps him, all the power to him. I know everybody wants to clown him, and that's the thing. But to JJ's point, when he comes out of his little retreat, when he comes out of the darkness, he better have seen the light.
Yeah, and the Packers, that's the point in time, too, where you put some pressure back on Aaron Rodgers, saying, all right, you've had your retreat, we've given you some time. What direction do you want to go in?
Is the biggest question.
Let's just make a decision, and then we can start calling teams, or we can start looking at ourselves.
And figure out what we're doing with our draft.
What we're doing with our draft or free agency. Like, just let's make a plan, man. Like, let's go right now.
And that's not asking too much. A-Marie, is the biggest question coming out of the retreat not are you going to play or who do you want to play with, but did you opt for the adult diaper or the restroom? It kind of is, isn't it? I mean, you gotta.
I mean,
you
he put it
gotta
out
go
there.
bathroom,
He put
don't
it
you?
out there. Yes.
You don't opt
Ugh.
for the adult diaper,
No,
do you?
No.
Like that's not something you say. I've told you the story before, and I opted out of this party when I first moved to Tri-Cities years ago. I got invited to a Depends party to watch Monday Night Football. I'm like, what the hell is that, dude? Like a Depends? What? I don't even know what that is. And it was. I remember the game. It was Rams and Buccaneers because he was a Buccaneers fan. And we go in Monday Night Football, and you get a bunch of beers and a bunch of dudes sit in a room, and you're drinking beer all night, and no one is allowed out of the room until the game is over, and everybody's wearing Depends, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Good for you, but is it cool that I opt out of the Depends party? Would you have opted
that's
out?
Weird.
Yeah, that's no.
Yeah, I have no desire.
No, absolutely.
Right? So you're going to tell me I got 4 days and 4 nights to sit in solace. I'm cool listening to myself. I don't need to smell myself. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need to. The human diaper piece, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I flat out don't need it. All right, I want to get into some of the Super Bowl stuff, some of the Pro Bowl stuff as well. You got a star player who got injured in the Pro Bowl games. How serious is that injury? Does he need surgery? We're going to get into that and what's going on in Super Bowl week as we get closer and closer to the Chiefs and the Eagles going at each other on a Sunday right here on the Sports Animal. Fellas, how you feeling? A little tired? A little sluggish? Way too often, huh? I might have some help for you. Actually, I think I do. NuMale's been helping men all over the country for years deal with those things. Things like fatigue and depression and weight gain, even erectile dysfunction. They will help you feel better if you give them a call. And now for men and ladies who are dealing with hair loss, NuMale can take care of you as well. The number's 505-652-1688. Area code 505-652-1688. Or you can visit them online at NuMale. That's NUMALE.com. So here's what they have. And they have options for you, and they all work. Hair restoration options are state-of-the-art. You can choose what's best. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy. If this uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle, this stops hair loss, you regrow hair. They have an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser. It is proven to regrow hair. NeoGraft hair transplants, which produce natural-looking results in less than a week, and there is no linear scarring. Men, ladies, if you're dealing with hair loss, what do you got to lose? Give them a call, 505-652-1688. That's NuMale at 505-652-1688 or online at NuMale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is up. Oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong finish.
She's got numbers. She's gonna make
1
it.
second. She slips it in just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. One against the screen. Ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and oh boy.
Coach. One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us.
Sports Animal.
All right, the football world is gathered in Arizona, or gathering in Arizona. And there's a lot going on with Super Bowl, as well, obviously, because, well, it's Super Bowl. Told you about Aaron Rodgers going into the dark. Told you about Derek Carr now most likely going to New Orleans to talk with the Saints today. Myles Garrett hurt his toe, dislocated his toe during the Pro Bowl games is what they called it. It came out yesterday he will not need surgery, which is a big deal for an all-pro and a stud. So
got to change everything now.
Yeah, we can't have obstacle courses anymore. Obstacle courses are just way too dangerous. Best spot for Derek Carr. I still think the Jets. I don't know that New Orleans. I mean, what does New Orleans have that would be enticing for him? To say
opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wide open
because
division.
The division's open. But if you're in that division, I'd rather be in Carolina.
It's interesting one. With Frank Reich.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be there. And I don't know what Tampa Bay is going to have. They still have receivers, right?
If you could go into Tampa Bay with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, you're feeling fine as a quarterback.
Right, but they don't run the ball.
Yeah, and that's a roster that still has some talent on the defense that was hurt and really underperformed. Young players, the linebacker, and the secondary. I'm also, and I've said this before, like 7 teams make the playoffs. So if you're going to this division and you got to beat Josh Allen and you got to beat this or that, like it's just get to the playoffs. Yep. And the Jets are a team that, as constructed, you give them Derek Carr and they're able to play that type of defense. Are you picking them over Buffalo? Heck, maybe you can get a split now, and that changes things because there's giant question marks down in Miami.
But you're saying they're as good as Miami and New England.
Yeah.
All right, 505-246-0610. Lobos losing the pit last night, 77-76. JD, I know you want to talk about that. What's up?
Morning, fellas.
Morning.
So, they're 6-5 in their last 11. Their next 7 games, there's 2 that they could lose, right? Boise State and San Diego State.
Let me just tell you, there's probably all of them that they could lose. I mean, I'm watching. They lost to Fresno State, right? Would you name that one that they could lose?
No, not at this point.
Yeah.
So, the problem is that they seem to be trending more towards the NIT than the NCAA. Luckily, there are some teams on the bubble last night that did lose. Kentucky lost at home by 15.
Yep.
So, they may get lucky, but if they go less than 5-2. Do they really have a chance of getting an at-large bid unless they win the conference tournament?
So 5-2 would make them 24-7 and 11-7. And if they get to the Friday round, the semifinal round of the conference tournament, who'd they lose to? If you're telling me they lose those 2, who they lose to? They lose to San Diego State and Boise State. Who are you losing to? Because it's different. If you lose to Air Force. Yeah, I feel more comfortable if you get one of those and win the others. You just can't lose the games to Colorado State, Wyoming, Air Force. You Fresno State. You have to beat those teams.
Right. So we're in a situation now where almost every game is going to be a must-win, right?
Kind of got to win games, certainly.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. You just got to start winning games. That was a heartbreaker last night.
No doubt.
And then I saw Jeff Grammer had an article. I didn't read it, but it said something about there being an outshot from the three-point line, right? And again, I didn't read it, so I don't know exactly what it's about. But if you look at it, last night, Jalen's 1 from 9 from 3. And I would rather anybody else take those threes than him.
Really?
Jamal, Jenkins, Johnson, right?
Yeah, as a team, they were 4 for 16 from three-point land last night, and Nevada was 11 for 22. So Nevada was 50%, and really, I mean, Jared Lucas was unbelievable. He was 6 and 9. So, but they were 11 to 22, and you were 4 out of 16, and Jalen was 1 for 9.
Yeah, but yeah, Lucas is one of the quickest releases you'll ever see.
Yeah, he
was
terrific.
That dagger at the end of the shot clock that he threw up from the corner was
deep.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I didn't read that Grammer's article, but I just think that we don't. I don't know. Maybe it's Pitino's philosophy is not to shoot the three as much. But then Jalen's such a wild card; you never know what he's going to do. I just think the wrong guy's taking the threes.
Got it. All right, man.
So,
Appreciate you. Who do you want taking threes? Is 16 the number you want? Because you got the monster of the mid range in Mashburn, and he had out of his 13 shots for Mashburn, only 2 of those were 3-point shots, and he made 1 of them. Right, 6 of 13, so that means he was 5 of 12 from the mid range, or 5 of 11 from mid range. The monster of the mid range. Who do you want taking threes? Jenkins more? Do you want to see more Jenkins threes?
Dude, House is 39% 3-point shooting.
On the year, he had a bad night shooting, right? 39%, 40% is pretty respectable.
Nash is really good at 40%.
I like our shooting.
Yeah, 40% shooting from
I don't
three-point
think shooting
line.
is the problem.
It was last night a little bit. Last
so
night,
when your shooting's not working, what do you need to do?
Well, you need to find other ways to score, right? You need to get the ball to the hole.
Okay.
They shot how many free throws last night? 28 free throws last night?
Offense wasn't a problem last
No.
Game's pretty simple. You win when you put the ball
Come
in the hole.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's also come down to defense with this team.
Well, first half defense struggled. First half defense, I thought they played a lot better in the second half. What was it, 45 points in the first half they scored? 45 Nevada scored.
There is a good way, and you're speaking of Jeff Grammer, the emptying the notebook column he does.
He's with the Albuquerque Journal.
Post-game, the beat writer. A lot of good nuggets. In one of those, he pointed out points per possession. And in the first half, Nevada was like close to almost 2 points per possession, which is a really high number.
That's insane.
And it was under 1 point in the second half.
Yeah. I thought New Mexico's defense got a lot better in the second half. We had a caller earlier who asked, why didn't they guard Lucas at the end? They did. Lucas didn't hurt you at the end. It was Blackshear. I thought it was going to Lucas at the end, too. He was unbelievable. I thought defense in the second half was better. They held him 32 points in the second half. You'll take that every time. Only turned the ball over 10 times. Look, this one was a tough one. This was tough. We'll hear from Richard Pitino coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Get a bunch of NFL stuff as well as we get ready for the Eagles and the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts, change your mind on what kind of quarterback you need to win a Super Bowl? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Taylor Rashadi.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Even if they're not that proud of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Voss. The technique.
Days away from the Super Bowl, Eagles and Chiefs, and the morning after, an incredibly emotional night in the pit. Lobos lose to Nevada last night, 77-76, on a Keenan Blackshear last-second shot. It seemed like it hung on the rim for a month and dropped through with 1/10 of a second left, didn't it?
Yes.
Tough loss because of what it means. Tough loss because of who those guys were on the other side. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A-Marie. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks for you, Comcast Channel 26, and our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. If you missed anything, you want to hear what Steve Alford had to say the other day, or you want to just catch a little bit of our show, all of our stuff's available on our podcast sites, _ JJ Buck, at Part-Time Bro, or just go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, click on the opening drive, and it's all there for you. The booing of Alford was incredible last night. It was what you want. I'm just looking through some of the correspondence. It feels to me around here nothing elicits emotion like global basketball, right? And that goes back to me to being when we say the pit is back. The pit being back is everything around it, don't you think? It's the fanaticism of global fan.
Yeah, it hits you in the heart. You're invested in sports. Like it's a one thing that will affect you emotionally for a while, for a little bit. You're groggy this morning, because of that shot.
Yeah,
you would have been okay. You got home midnight, you go to bed, you wake up early, go to work, but you're like, man,
we beat that dude.
We beat that team last night. I was at the pit this morning. You're like, oh man,
yep. And that's
how
that
game last night, and that was rough.
Yep. All right. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Wolves versus Wolves, says Dean. What a game. This one's going to hurt. He says, damn, I've watched and heard lots of Lobo games. This is a tough one. However, we'll get them in Vegas. Winning 6 of next 8 games should get us dancing, and, of course, winning the Mountain West tournament is best. Can you give me a rundown of the tournament format? Who does the 5 seed play, etc.? So the 5 seed would get the final bye. Would play on Thursday night in the quarterfinal against the 4 seed. And right now that can be Boise State, Utah State, or Nevada. I guess it could even be San Diego State. Right now the 5 would play the 4. You would both get a bye. The first 5 get a bye. 6 plays 11, 7 plays 10, and 8 plays 9. And then they play in. So whoever wins the 6-11 game will get the 1 seed. And so on. Okay? Does that make sense? I know. Yeah. All right. Carl says, all the credit to Craig Reed. He says, Jeff, I was talking with Lobo fans sitting behind the Reno bench. Said Craig Neal was with the chalkboard on that last play. Always. I told you, I was watching the game of the former Lobo and knows the game really well, knows Craig really well. Craig draws up plays, man. You watch him in those huddles. He takes charge. Bill says, give props to Steve Alford and Craig Neal. Jeff, this is a Pack Club picked 9th. Lost Cambridge. It lost Sherfield. That just beat a former top 25 squad in front of 15,000. That'd be like Lobo basketball losing House and Lash. What does it say? Lash House? By the way, I said Lash to make it funny. Losing Mashburn and House and still being a borderline playoff squad. You don't have to like them, but they've done a hell of a job this year.
Yeah, Lucas, phenomenal. The development of Blackshear. Will Baker, you got 3 strong players, and then the role players for Nevada, very good. They've stepped up in conference play.
Jeff says, last shot, Alford got what he wanted. 6'6" guard, Blackshear, 1-on-1 with 6-foot Mashburn. They set a pick on the 6'6" Johnson. Johnson tried not to switch. Mash waved him off. Blackshear just backed in and made their last 4 points. They killed us in game 1 that way. Steve's doing what Steve does. Has his team playing best basketball going into March. We better run the gamut and finish in the top 4 or we will be out of the NCAA. He says, I love Mash and House, but House forcing the ball and our guards being shorter will hurt us if we make it into the tournament. Look, the small guard thing on the defensive side is an issue. And Richard talked about this coming out of last year. This isn't new. This is something he talked about coming out of last year, right?
Yeah.
As great and dynamic as they are offensively, big guards like Blackshear are going to give you.
And that is one where I do think that was a mistake. That was not a hard screen. Johnson was right behind Mash and could have recovered, and there would not have been a problem to keep Javonte Johnson on Blackshear.
To not switch, yeah. Who called the switch, do you know?
No one. They just switched. Like, Mashburn didn't look off. Yeah. Javonte, he just stayed in his defensive
I've seen you
position.
watching it a few times.
Yeah, because it was one where there were Blackshear was going to take his time. There was still 8 seconds left. And hey, I give credit to Mash. He still contested as
no
best
doubt.
he could.
I thought he played good defense.
But to the point we just got from Jeff is the length. Blackshear just rose up above it.
Yeah. Sean, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Good, Sean. What's happening?
So, I'm kind of curious to know. I feel like every time that I watch, the Lobos play on TV or in person, I always feel like that the other team has one of their greatest three-point shooting nights. I'd be interested to see what the three-point percentage is in the Mountain West Conference against us, and where it ranks when those teams play each other
It's interesting.
at another time. Because I feel like everybody always has a really good three-point night against us.
Yeah, Lucas went nuts, didn't he? I mean, it felt like he could throw it out of the parking lot. I don't have that at hand. That'd be worth something. Spend a little time looking through though.
Yeah, I just kind of. It's the first thing we were taught as kids all the way through. Albuquerque High School under Jim Holzman was, defense, perimeter defense, so forth. And I appreciate the Lobos' effort. I think they're a great team. I think they're very well coached. I just feel like sometimes we lack effort and a little bit of concentration in regards to our perimeter defense.
Right on. No, I appreciate you, Sean. Thank you. I think there was a little bit of that in the first half. I think some of the shots Lucas made were well contested. The one the caller before that talked about. I mean, the one out of the corner above, all the bigs. Dude was just out of his tree.
He had an unbelievable night. Lucas by himself. The Lobos have the third best 3-point field goal percentage defense in conference play.
Rod,
behind Boise State and San Diego State.
Say that again, because he
third best
3-point defense.
3-point defense.
All right, so there you go, Sean. That should answer your question. Lobos have the third best 3-point defense in the conference,
and Lucas made 6 of their 11 3-point.
And they were 11 out of 22, and he was 6 out of 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Boise State and Oral Roberts actually had their worst 3-point shooting games of the season against New Mexico in those games.
And you won those games. Yeah. Rod says Lucas equals Jacques Cousteau. Remember Livard from Harvard? He said the only thing missing, Jefferson, was Cam getting lost and not finding him until it was too late. P.S. Is that where you were last week? At a darkness retreat? Yes, I was. Came back and decided, you know what? I think I want to do this for a while, Marie. I went into the dark cave. I opted for the restroom instead of the adult diaper, and came out and said, I still want to do this. I'm committed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Glad it worked out for you.
Yeah, no, it always
wear
does.
Diapers.
I opted for the bathrooms. Yeah, I opted for the restrooms. Brought my own 2-ply, double ply, just in case I get nervous with that stuff. Jeff says, "Can OD callers are VIP? Who pointed out the contest level basketball was narrowly winning? The announcers had one thing in common: their key to the game was the opponents missing a lot of open shots. They stated if clubs started connecting on a few level, basketball was going to be in trouble. The last 2 squads have started to connect." Kind of what he's talking about. Teams.
Yeah, the last 2 games it feels that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This one says, Todd says happy for Blackshear. I think you might be the only one calling the show happy for Blackshear today. Said he was getting hosed by the refs the entire game. It's got to feel great to make that shot when the officials pretty much took him out of the rest of the game. And this is on the same note. Bourne says flagrant. He says, if I was Alfred, I'd have lost my mind because that was a block on House to begin with. All right, I need help on that one. They did not show the replay in the pit. So I didn't even know what they were replaying. Did you see the flagrant foul? I was texting with a buddy of mine in Reno who was watching the game, and he was pissed because he thought Richard whined about it. And I said, was it the right call? And he says, it was close, but bad look, your coach whining. And I'm like, well, I mean,
it was review 2.0.
Yeah.
Same. It wasn't as blatant as what happened to Morris Udeze, but Blackshear ran over a House and hit him in the face. And so Patino screamed about it and won the ref's favor.
I think my response here is Patino is probably a little sensitive to flagrants after his last trip to Reno. Is that fair? I mean, would you blame him? Because
that was advantage New Mexico in that situation.
Yeah. Les says people have lives. Jeff, I couldn't watch that. Post time was pushed back to almost 9 o'clock, and that's way too late on a work or school night. Why couldn't they have Why couldn't they have had that contest last Friday or Saturday when there was nothing going on in that built and most folks are off on the next day? Why do you think, Les? I was thinking, I knew I was going to get this last night. It's funny. You know when the game was delayed right before tip? they're waiting for the TV guys to finish their little open
intro.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to be on TV so much.
Don't you think? Every game's on
So nice.
national television.
Yes.
And I was thinking that we're going to get this email. And my response is how do you like you got to be kidding, right? And I don't even say that in jest. You've got to be kidding at this point. You do understand that television sets the schedules. That if you want to set your own game times, go to a league that does not have every game on TV, and you can play every game at 7 o'clock, right? Like New Mexico State gets to, right? There's no whack ESPN, CBS, Fox. So every game's on whack streaming, and you could go set your game time at 7 o'clock. Would you rather that? Or would you rather be in a league that's got every single game almost, not every single game, but I mean like 80% of your games on national television on FS1 or CBS Sportsnet? And they dictate the game times. And one of the windows is that 8:30, 8:45 slot. It's just the way it is. But I didn't read the email the other day. It was complaining why wasn't there anything in the pit this weekend? And it was a perfect weekend, and the weather was great, and you should move the New Mexico
There were
Bowl.
two games in the pit last week.
Yeah, there were. Women's basketball. Yep, there were. But I just that's why, man. I ask you, like, you're kidding, right? You just do that to get me to tell you the whole story again? Is that kind of where we are? All right, go to the phones. You're blinking them. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. By the way, I appreciate all the emails, all the calls. I mean, you guys are passionate. Your stuff's coming today. Like, thank you. It's really good. But that question you get asked so much, it's like they don't get to make the schedule, man. If they could play at 7, I'm sure they would have loved to. If your answer is, do you want to be in a league that doesn't have TV, or do you want to be in a league that has TV, but you're going to have to play at 8:45? What's the answer? It's pretty easy, right?
TV exposure and for the fans.
And you like the revenue. And you like money. The revenue. All right, Valentine's Day. We're inside a week, Marie. Is that what it is?
Yes.
I got a question for you on Valentine's Day later, too. May I strongly suggest the best jeweler in town, John Thomas Jewelers? Went by there about a month ago. I was turned on to it. It is my jeweler. The best custom jewelry, period. And they make more custom jewelry in a week than most jewelers do in a year, and they do it right there in their facility. That's what makes it surprisingly and amazingly affordable. So when you think of custom jewelry, I know some of you go, well, yeah, and I'm just going to go buy out of there. No, stop. Go by and see John Thomas Jewelers. It's the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana. It's a block south of Manal, right to the east of Coronado Mall, okay? Go by. You got to want to get there. You go upstairs, and then you look through it. You get to piece your ring together if you're looking to make your girlfriend your wife, and I know this is a very popular time to do it. They'll walk you through it, and you will customize this piece. It'll be a one-of-a-kind beauty that she will love. And when she's happy, you know the story. You are happy as well. The place is insane, and the whole process is comfortable. There's no pressure. You're not just picking a piece out of a case. Go see John Thomas Jewelers. Valentine's Day is next week. You can thank me later. It's johnthomasjewelers.com, or on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, just 1 block south of Manal up there in Uptown. If you can dream it, they will make it.
The Super Bowl is set, and so is your home for Super Bowl 57 on the radio. Listen to 2 Men On.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
The Sports Animal.
Big one now Friday at Air Force, Lobos and Air Force. Meanwhile, in between that, you're going to get Lobo women's basketball tomorrow night. JJ will be in Idaho. So where they're going to be in Boise. I know you've checked.
Chili.
All right. Lobo women in Boise State tomorrow night here on the Sports Animal. Jeff, JJ, Amory, and Adrian. 505-246-0610. That's both the text line and the phone line. Text line says, Jeff, I'm so angry. Why couldn't the league have called me to ask what time they should play the game? Oh, it's Chris. Okay. Text line says, question, does House have a green light to play undisciplined defense? I know he's third in the country in steals, but he's constantly jumping and diving and putting his team in a bad position. I would argue that the ones that put him in a bad position, it's like everything else, right? The negative outweighs the positive. I think defensively, he takes risks, and more often than not, it pays off, don't you?
Yes, and I think some of it is what he has to do with his size against
undersized
opponents is take a few more risks.
He's insanely quick.
There's just something about House that his game, just the way it looks to a lot of people, they're just not in.
All right, I'm going to give you another one, and I don't agree with this. Lobo Hobo's take on House. Jeff, I disagree with JJ, he says. I think House has actually toned down his act a little since that all-access game. Patino must have had a come-to-Jesus meeting with him before that contest and let him know his behavior was going to make him, the coaching staff, and the program look bad and could cost them an NCAA bid. I totally disagree. Why would his behavior somehow cost them an NCAA bid? But it all started off with I disagree with JJ, by the way.
You know what I said in that regard. That's okay. You just get in line.
Well,
take a number.
Do you think he's toned down? Since the San Diego State game, right? That would be the game right before the All Access game, right?
Seems like we're seeing the same Jalen House.
Yeah.
It's his style of play.
It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They like it when it's good, when it works, and when it doesn't, whatever.
That's like everything else, man.
Everything else in life, like I don't know what people want.
When it goes your way, it was a great decision. When it doesn't go your way, what a crummy call, right? What
right,
a bad,
like
why do you
this
do
is
that?
hot take, but
No, but the thing here is those people don't even like it when it goes their way with House. Like they're just people that are dug their heels in because I just don't like this team.
Yeah. All right, this person on the text line watched on TV said you needed a dictionary to listen to the color analysis on the game with words like punctilious, magnanimous, Muthusela. I don't even know what that is. Nevertheless, what an awesome game. I hate the late starts. Look.
Not easy.
Amory, I don't think you were here. There was a state representative out of Roswell. Was it Cliff Purtle? Who was putting, and this was serious talk for a minute, to have New Mexico not change time zones, to stay. Basically, we would stay on I want to say it was standard time. Maybe it was daily. Either way, whichever it was, and I'd have to go back and flip through it. But basically, during basketball season, so November until early March, we would have been on Central Time, right? And so these games, and this was one of my biggest arguments, I was trying to get, as a sports fan, UNM to lobby against it. These 9 o'clock starts would be 10 o'clock starts, right? And your sports viewing would be pushed back. Monday Night Football would start an hour later. Like that was my biggest issue against it. If they want to go federally and not switch times, I'm all about it. But for us to be like, kind of go Arizona on this, and well, we're not going to switch either. Man, can you imagine all those late starts? And that last night's game would have been a 9:45 start. It just would have been on a Tuesday night. You wouldn't have liked that any better. Text line says Craig Neal Court at Steve Alford Arena. How about Lobo fan throwing cups at the Nevada bench? I didn't see that. Did you?
There was an incident.
Was that at the end of the game or when?
It's like early second half, actually. Something came towards the
be
bench.
better, guys.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Be chirpy, but be better.
Yeah. Rudy, how'd you enjoy the game last night?
A mood most foul.
Say that again.
A mood most foul.
What does
You
that
know, this is where you put your dog away and don't go near it. You don't talk to your wife if you're married for a while. It was a very emotional game.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that's what Alfred brings out. Now, the Lobos are walking a fine line because they don't have a bench. Nevada had a bench. Baker stunk up the floor last night, and they didn't need him. So what has to change going forward is either the Lobos sell out to play defense the whole game and get in foul trouble, which they can't afford, or they play the defense they played in the first half because that's all they can do.
And get torched.
And, yeah, Javonte just has to decide that he's going to play harder. Forceline has to decide that he's going to play harder. KJ Jenkins has to decide that he's going to play harder.
So when you say harder, you think it's an
everybody
effort
else-
thing? You say play harder, so that connotates an effort thing.
Well, no, it's an aggressive thing. I think they're putting out effort, but I just don't think Javonte's being aggressive enough on offense, so the defense doesn't even respect the fact that he might drive the ball or shoot the ball. They just kind of ignore him, and they focus on House, Mashburn, Udeze, and Alec. They'll let him go outside, and they'll let him stay outside all day. So there's going to be some changes that UNM's going to make. But, losing Applehans, could you imagine if J. Allen Tovar was guarding Blackshear last night?
Yeah, that's where you
instead
miss.
of a 6'2"
I
guard?
think that's where you miss him. I've said the one thing this team does not have is a 6'4" to 6'7" swing athlete who can guard the perimeter, who can score from the perimeter and post up. That's the one thing this team doesn't have.
Yeah, and could you imagine if Braden Applehans was able to play? Well, there's your 6'6" guy right there. Now, is he's thin, but so what? I've watched him, and he plays hard, and he understands the game. So Nevada had a bench. UNM doesn't have a bench right now. They've got to spend the rest of this time between now and the end of the season developing these guys. Barimasek has to come in and give some minutes. It would really behoove those guys to step up their game. I'm not saying that they're not putting out effort. I'm saying that sometimes they lack aggressiveness and some of the things that I'd like to see that would give them more minutes off the bench. Blackshear, by the way, that was a flagrant. He shoved Jalen to the ground, extended his arm, pushed him down. That's a flagrant foul.
Yeah,
that's the definition of a flagrant foul.
Well, if my buddy who's a big Nevada backer said it was close, then it must have been a flagrant. All right, man. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It's interesting. The bench, are they deep enough to make a run as constructed with Dent and with Jenkins, and then whichever big he decides to play, whether it's Sec or Forsling? Is that enough?
The problem is you have a bench, but the two guys coming off the bench are still small guards.
Yeah, they're small guards.
That doesn't help with the questions that you have.
All right. When we return, what did Richard Pitino say after the game? We'll hear from your Lobo head coach. It's the opening drive.
And Theobroma is Greek for food of the gods. Now, what if I told you I know a place called Theobroma Chocolatier? Yes, doesn't that sound just amazing? Theobroma Chocolatier is located on Montgomery and Charamway and should be your go-to place for all your chocolates for all holidays and events. It is a chocolate experience like nothing else. There's a huge event coming up, and I'm not talking about the big games. Telling you guys, it's Valentine's Day. Don't forget. Don't wait until the last minute to get cheap drugstore candy. Call the owner, Heather. She's great. She's my good friend at 293-6545 at Theobroma Chocolatier, and find your perfect chocolate experience for your Valentine. Whether it's her melt-in-your-mouth chocolate truffles, chocolate-covered popcorn, turtles, soft centers. She has gorgeous gift boxes. You can't go wrong. So stop by, again, Theobroma Chocolatier today, or place your order at 293-6545.
Whether you We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness.
Tough one in the pit. We're going to hear what Richard Pitino had to say. Hey, got a question for you real quick. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A-Marie, and Adrian. So somebody asked me the other day, this isn't my deal, but he's been dating a woman for inside a month.
Ooh, I like this one.
What should Valentine's Day be for, that 2 to 4 week, you're just starting the date thing? Are you obligated? He's like, dude, what do I do if I say, we got to do something on Valentine's Day? Is that too presumptive?
No.
But if I don't do, if I go over the top, is that too crazy? But if I don't do something, is that like where, if you're in that zone,
New dating,
right? Because I've been hearing what about all the single people, and what do you do if you're in a relationship? But I'm not there. I don't know. It's been a minute. What do you do? I don't know why I'm asking you like you're the love expert. Everybody's got an opinion.
I could say I'm the love expert.
Are
Just
you?
kidding.
I got the monster.
Married.
I got the monster, the mid range, and the love expert.
And the love expert.
Yeah.
I think with any new relationship or any relationship in general, just communicate. Maybe get her flowers and be like, "Hey, I know this is new, but if you would like to go out to Valentine's Day, I would love to take you out."
I would get her a box of those little heart candies and say,
or at the Obama Chocolatier,
or that. Or an on-the-spot automotive detailing.
Yes,
or
whatever. All the endorsements.
So so it's kind of, hey, what do you think? Valentine's Day's coming up. I mean,
like, just be casual about it, because
yeah.
That's the
answer.
Also, I know he doesn't have to make a decision if this is, if I'm not
She's
saying he's
it?
going to John Thomas Jewelers.
No, that's why.
But I'm saying like maybe
way
just
less
some
committal.
chocolate or flowers.
Yeah, way
like
less of a
Theo
commitment for on the
Brahma-
spot.
Theo Brahma are on the spot. No, you don't have to go to John Thomas Jewelers. But like clearly, just I would communicate, be like, hey, I know this is new. Maybe.
But I kind of dig it. You want to hang out on Valentine's Day.
You want to hang out on Valentine's Day. Don't put pressure though, because.
So what do you do if she says, I'm dating like 4
Or-
dudes?
like,
well, then you're
well, because people are dating a lot of.
So there's Desperation Day on the 13th. So maybe.
Well, what if she says, I'm dating a few people, and I mean, and then you're like,
Then I might pull
then you
out.
got to say yes. So am I.
Yeah.
You got to go to the bullpen.
I don't know.
Because how many people
Dating a few people.
Well, how many single
No,
people?
that happened to my old man, by the way.
Your old man?
My husband. But way before me. This girl he was dating was like, they were on a date, and she's like, all right, I have another date. And he thought she was kidding, but like
she wasn't.
She wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, okay, me too.
Think of your single friends.
Yeah.
How many of them are dating just one person, as opposed to how many are
but like
dating
if you're
a few?
out in the pool.
Yeah, I think a month is that kind of start to make that decision.
That's fair.
Right? Like
Yeah,
you're
2 to 4
you're a
weeks.
month in.
That's what I don't like about this holiday.
And
It
if
puts
you're
a lot of
still
expectations.
Totally
bouncing around, at some point you got to be like, shouldn't we
see
where this
Fair enough.
necessarily goes at a month? But Emery is right. Flowers for sure. regardless.
Flowers, and just be
And then
like,
just
put out
ask,
a gesture. Be
"Do you
like,
wanna go to dinner
No
tonight?"
pressure.
No, okay.
It better not be tonight. You better do it a little bit
Or
in
just,
advance.
do you want to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I
You
think that's
wanna
how I
do
would do it.
something? Like, what's your?
Yeah, what are you thinking about
I know it's
Valentine's
on a
Day? Hey, it's coming up.
weekday.
Yeah.
Could I take you out this weekend? Like, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Solved.
Solved? Kind of solved. All right. Tough one last night at the pit. Lobos, by the way, what if you just say I got to watch the Lobo game on Valentine's Day? They're playing Wyoming, and I got
There's that.
I got to
There
watch
is
the
that.
Lobo game.
That could be
All
an
right, take him
interesting
to
one. It's not that
377.
serious. If you're looking for, all right, hey, what do you think about the basketball game tonight?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. All right. Richard Pitino after the game last night was on with Robert and Hunter. And look, this is a tough one. That ball rolls off the rim and you feel great. Like it does. That's how silly, fickle, crazy this game is. That ball rolls off the rim instead of in. It goes out. You feel different. So here's Richard just flat out on what he thought about last night.
Well, a heartbreaker. That ball sat on the rim for a long time. I thought our guys did an amazing job in the second half defensively. Much, much better. We fought our butts off rebounding the basketball. We got to the free throw line. Just one of those deals where the ball kind of rolled their way, and you got to give them credit for that. Mash made a big play. Blackshear goes down and hits a big one. So we're going to have to learn from it and get our spirit back. We can't let this take it away from it because although it was a heartbreaker, we did a lot of good things. So we'll do our best to learn from it and move on to tomorrow.
All right, and tomorrow means Friday. And that's Air Force. And I agree with him. I think there were a lot of good things in there. This team is still good. The season didn't lose yesterday. I know what it meant to all of you. And believe me, those two coaches, they know what this game meant too. I mean, Steve was walking tall. Noodles was walking tall. This meant a lot to Richard too, right? And this was a tough one. So now what, right? Because here comes Air Force on Friday.
Well, I mean, for me, it's always been a one day at a time type mentality. I am so proud of in year 2 where we are right now. We didn't inherit a great situation, and we've done some amazing things in 24 games, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the community coming back and supporting this team. So one game, you just take the emotion out of it, and you get back to work tomorrow. But we're clearly on the right track and doing a lot of great things.
Place was nuts last night. And on the other side of the break, and we're going to go, I want to take a phone call here, but I'm going to hear what Richard says about the fans and what Steve Alford said about the place last night too, and about the fans. Because I think the perspective is, when you're in it, you're feeling it. And we've also been, those of us who have been here for X number of years, back when the pit was this, and it's not like it was, or it is like it was, or whatever. I'm going to tell you, I've been here long enough. The pit is become familiar. And I thought last night it was back. I thought last night was in Boise State game. I think it's been wonderful, and I'll give you both coaches' perspectives on that here in a few minutes. Howard, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's funny you talk about Valentine's Day and 2 to 4 weeks, what's appropriate, whatever. My present wife, I started hanging out with her about a month before Valentine's Day. It was totally platonic. We'd go out and play pool and just talk and hang out. I finally asked her on an official date on February 15th.
Good move.
she asked me years later, why did you wait till the day after Valentine's Day to ask me out? I tell her because the flowers were half price. I mean, come on,
Yeah, there you go, guys. There's the answer.
But anyway, I'm disappointed in your caller earlier about complaining about the late night game time. I mean, put your onesie on with a little flap in the back so it makes going to the restroom easier. Cuddle up on the couch and treat yourself to one of the best damn basketball games this week. It's sad that we had to end up on the short end of it, but that was some pretty entertaining basketball. I love the product Patino's putting out.
Yeah,
Go Lobos.
It was
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thanks, Howard. All right, there you go. So you wait till the 15th. The flowers are half price. The chocolate is half price. Especially at the drugstore, Emery. That drugstore chocolate goes like way half price.
I know. And women know.
Was your place is it a nicer box?
Yeah.
All right.
I got proposed to on Valentine's Day.
Did you really?
Yes.
So can I tell you, I've never been a big flower guy on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but we kind of did it as a cliche because I was like, no cliches, and did on Valentine's. But I like that. It was funny.
You liked it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Good. All right. See?
I just don't like the pressure on Valentine's Day for people.
I hate it. I freaking hate Valentine's
Every day, get your girl.
I've always hated Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Hallmark loves it.
Oh, it's a commercial.
The
Yeah, it's
card
a money maker.
Oh.
It's a money maker.
Yeah. All right. When we return, we're going to take the final break of the show. What Richard Pitino had to say about the fans last night, and Steve Alford's take on the building last night and the fans and this place and his part in it. It's the opening drive. We're still open for your phone calls at 505-246-0610. Thank you so much for opting to be with us and remembering you listened to 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
That's right. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and A-Marie. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. Got a couple lines open at 505-246-0610. So I told you before we went to break, I want you to hear what Richard Pitino had to say about the fans. Obviously, in just full throat last night, both in support of their team and letting Steve Alford and Craig Neal know how they felt about them. Here's Richard after the game, and just, I know he does this all the time, but just the perspective, because so many of you have called in today specifically about the atmosphere last night.
Yeah, as I've said before, although that stings, what this team has done in a short amount of time with what we walked into is nothing short of amazing. And we have to keep that in perspective. And I am so grateful for our fans. I am absolutely devastated when they walk out of here without a win. I feel for our guys that work so hard, and our fans are so loyal and supportive. But part of the deal, so you got to give them credit.
All right, I want you to hear, this is Steve Alford, and he was asked about, look, the boos went, just it was a pretty good boo. Didn't you think? What do you think of the quality of the booing when him and Noodles walked down the ramp?
Solid.
It was solid. He was asked, look, you came down there. I know you've been here before in 2020. Alfred's now 8-0 against the Lobos, and he got booed at everything, down the ramp, at the announcement, when he was arguing with the refs. Here's Steve after the game talking about the reception he got from Lobo fan.
I understand it. I was at least part of the creation of the pride that is here, and that's what I love my time here. It's a prideful fan base that just love their Lobos, and I had the good fortune. I was blessed to be a part of that for 6 years, and I thought we built something. I noticed the pregame video talked about "We Are New Mexico." That happened at Texas A&M. That came out of the Texas A&M game, so I was a part of that, and it's not like I know I've got enough friends here that there's appreciation of what we did and what we created here. It was the best run academically through 6 years. It was the best run APR-wise. It was the best run of titles in a 6-year period. So we know we did. I love my former players. I had so many former players and managers and coaches that came to shoot around. I know how special this is, and they appreciate that. But I also know this fan base is a prideful base, and I left. So I expect to be booed. I understand that. But I think deep down, hopefully there's an appreciation of just what we were able to accomplish here. This is my 100th game in the pit, and I'm very blessed that I've been able to, coach 100 games in a building like this. It's very
special. He said, there's a couple things there. A, he noticed the pregame video. I wonder how opposing coaches noticed the pregame video. He knows his resume pretty damn well, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
And the We Are New Mexico thing, remember when that happened? That they beat Texas A&M, and that did start with him. We Are New Mexico. But that's just kind of the thought process. Boy, Steve was insanely complimentary this week. Lewis, good morning to you. Appreciate you holding. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't like the late night either, but that's the way of the world, man. Why do you think the Lobos can afford a good coach or any team? It's the money thing. Everybody knows that.
Right.
So these people that complain, don't you remember Big Monday? What was that, 15 years ago?
That was 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock at night, 3 or 4 times a year. We're not always in the pit, either on the road or in the pit, 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. Great exposure. I don't know who's watching at midnight on the East Coast, but, it was you could say, hey, we're on national television on ESPN. And I remember the game. I don't remember who they were playing. I don't know if you were here then, but there was a fire alarm went off.
I do.
And they had to evacuate the pit, and the game didn't end till like almost 1 a.m. by the time everyone got back in and they finished the game.
Was that not Gonzaga? Was that a Gonzaga game?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
And people stayed. People didn't leave. People didn't go home. Oh, fire alarm. We have to go evacuate. And it was cold. I remember that night. It was very cold outside. They made everybody go out and all that. And so, 8:30, 8:45. I know it's a little late. It's not that late. But that's the way it is, man. Everybody plays late night games now. And who do the Lobo fans think they are that they shouldn't have to play a Lobo?
You know the answer to that.
A late night game. And, these are the same people that complain during football season. If the game's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's too early in the day, it ruins my day. If it's at 5 o'clock, it's getting cold outside. If it's at 8 o'clock, it's too late. Shut up.
Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate
Shut
it.
up. This is the way it is.
Yeah, great call. Appreciate you.
Anyways,
Lewis.
thanks,
See
man.
ya. How about living on the East Coast? Amory, how often do games start? World Series games start at 8:30 at night. You don't know how good we have it
Moving
here.
back to the Southwest, this has been a blessing for me,
Yes.
especially working early in the morning.
Yes.
I used to not go to bed till like after midnight throughout football
Yeah.
season, basketball season, World Series, you name it, is so late.
We have it so damn good here.
It is so nice.
Sorry the game started at 8:45. Not sorry. It was on national TV. Marty, good morning.
Hey guys, I'm glad to hear, and I've seen it. I'm glad the buzz is back in the pit. That's great.
Yep.
Fans are back. You get that good feeling about Lobo basketball. It's great. I wish we had that in football. That's another conversation for another time. We've had that in the past. But the deal is the buzz killer continues, in my opinion, to kill us, and that's one Jalen House. And what I mean by that, because I like to break it down, what I mean by that is there's so many times throughout the game, because we get so zoned in on the last few minutes. We could have done this. There's so many times throughout the game, and I call him the buzz killer because Lobos are on a 4, maybe 6-point run. All of a sudden, here comes the buzz killer, forcing shots. And I don't know if there's a negative stat for there's one in tennis, unforced errors.
Right.
But man, they should have that in basketball when you're just trying to make something out of nothing,
just
and
a bad
it's just
possession.
not there.
Just
and that's Jalen House.
Yeah, it'd be just a bad possession.
And it's a backbreaker, man. It's a backbreaker. Now, Lobo fan won't say it, but Marty will.
No, some Lobo fans say it.
Coach has
Marty.
got to reel that in.
Yeah, a lot of Lobo fans is saying
Coach has got to reel that in.
Yeah, no, Marty, appreciate your call, and thank you. You're not the only one. I think there's a lot of positive to Jalen House. There were a few air balls, and he was 1 for 9 from three-point land last night, and he didn't shoot the ball well. There's a lot of positive to Jalen House. There's a little bit. What was the word I was using earlier?
That's tough.
What?
Because Jalen House is the one guy, he misses a shot, and he can't miss a shot.
Yeah.
But you also can't.
According to fan.
You also can't.
The kid hustles and plays D.
I love him.
My God.
But he's the one guy that every missed shot
You're
is
growing.
magnified.
Yeah, you're
because
growing.
you're like, well, why'd you take that shot? Why did you miss that shot?
Yeah.
But you also, it's a challenge then because you have a Den out there, he can't shoot, and that's an issue. And so you're going to need Mash and House to shoot. Now, would you feel better if Dent was just 100% the ball handler in making those decisions?
Yeah, and House is so good off the dribble and so quick and gets to the rim too. I love his game. I think the positive outweighs the negative, but I think there is some times where you're like, okay, it's a little insecure, and did it hurt you down the stretch? It might have last night. Ben, good morning.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. A few of my points already got taken, but I was going to say I remember those ESPN big Monday nights all the time. Games starting at 10 o'clock. And I've always been a believer it's something you enjoy and love. It doesn't matter what time the game starts. You're going to go and enjoy it and not complain.
I think you're right.
But I was going to ask this one question in regards to yesterday's loss. Getting swept by Nevada really dents our hopes. I would think we have to either sweep San Diego State or Boise State. And what are your guys' thoughts on that? And I want to say thank you to Marty, or not Marty, I think it was Howard earlier. Thank you to Howard for making me laugh about February the 15th. That was the best comment I've heard in a long, long time.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
So thank you for thank you.
No, it was great advice. Ask her out on the 15th.
Oh God!
right,
All
first
these
of all-
guys. Well, this guy Marty on the radio
Yeah,
said ask out on February 15th.
Yeah, and it was Howard, and Howard's happily
Howard,
married.
sorry, yeah.
He's married to what he calls his present wife. He's married.
Sorry.
His present wife was good with it. A couple of things, and I'm gonna get more educated response tomorrow at 8:30. Jerry Palm, CBS sports bracketologist, is going to be with us. So we'll ask him what you just asked. Do they have to win all their other games and beat Boise State or San Diego State? Or if they win all their games and lose those two, and the answer is going to be, well, in a bubble or in a vacuum, I think that puts them squarely on the bubble. And if they win the quarterfinal game, it'll be a quality win on Thursday. If they get to the Friday night semifinal in Vegas, I think they get in. I think this is an NCAA tournament caliber team. They're good enough to play in the NCAA tournament in a vacuum, but it's not in a vacuum. Now, if somebody else stumbles, if Nevada gets beat a few times, if Utah State gets beat a few times, but
all you can really do is take it moment by moment. And so we can ask Jerry his views on two teams that he had as 9 seeds on a Monday and where they sit tomorrow.
Well, Jerry will be with us tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. Really good stuff today. Very, very much appreciate all your comments, whether it was text, email, calls, whatever. Great stuff. Adrian, great work today. A-Marie, great work as always.
Thank you.
Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd follows that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock, and we're back with award-winning radio starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Big day for you, I know. Safe travels up to Idaho.
Thank you.
Talk to you tomorrow from Boise. All right. Be good to each other, please. Have a great, safe Wednesday. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream Style Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.